Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lab Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the 1997 Nissan Skyline GTR V-Spec. It's been a while since I've said that. We ran a lot of GTRs early on because I was very scared of being overwhelmed by the sheer number of GTRs, and yeah, we haven't had one for a while, so here we go. 1997 model, probably the GOAT car of GT1, knowing how Skylines are treated in Gran Turismo. This one not running race mod. The 1995 V-Spec will run race mod because the 95 and the 97 basically the same car. We have had the 97 standard R33 run as well. That also did not run race mod, and the 95 version will run race mod. So the 95 R33s run race mod, 97s don't, because I think the 95s are lighter, if I'm remembering. Anyways, we've had a lot of these. They're scattered all across the leaderboard, but for the most part they hang around sort of the 29.5s to 29.7 range. So good cars. Not as good as you'd think they'd be, because they are A, quite heavy, and B, quite uncontrollable because they have stage 4 turbochargers, and this one is no different. Four-wheel drive, 685 horsepower, 1,370 kilos. I am not expecting this to be particularly good handling, but it should be quick. This car is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Current leader is the 1997 Mitsubishi GTO LM Edition, another GT1 car. That car set a time of 27.223. This car is unlikely to beat that. Again, in terms of where this is going to end up, the 97 R33 GTR set a time of 29.6. So, I guess somewhere around there would be good. The V-Specs are a little bit heavier, but I think the V-Specs are... They have different suspension or something. GTRs are a bit strange, and also the game does actually have some sort of primitive version of the R34's four-wheel drive system. So in an R34, as you sort of build up speed, it engages the front wheels less through the four-wheel drive system, so you get a bit more sort of traction. It becomes more rear-wheel bias, and the game does try to simulate that a little bit, apparently, although no one's ever been quite so sure to tell me how. I'm just a bit distracted by the fact this seems to have a rear fog light, so that's interesting. 29.132, okay, this is quicker. To be fair, I was actually going to point this out. The R32, so mysteriously we ran a lot of GTRs early on, and we ran the V-Spec and the Nismos and all the rest of it. And then around that time I also ran the standard R32 V-Spec with no race mod, just the 1995 V-Spec car. And that car was like 0.3, 0.4 quicker than all the other R32s, including like the later V-Specs and the Nismos and all that, so maybe there's something to these V-Spec cars that makes them quicker. I'm not really too sure, but yeah, I mean, so the quickest Skyline we've ever had is the R34. The quickest R33 Skyline we've ever had is the 4-door, and that's been that way for a long time. That car was 0.7 seconds quicker than the standard R33s. I think because its weight actually helped it with its power delivery, so we might be able to go ahead and beat that maybe if we don't get slides. That's the problem with the GTRs right there, is the traction is just not as good. It hasn't got the standard four-wheel drive traction. It feels more rear-wheel drive. Again, I don't know if that's that primitive rear-wheel drive system or how this game calculates all the sort of torque differences and all that, but yeah, that just seems to be a consistent issue with these cars, so interesting. But no, it is quicker. It is the quickest two-door R33 that we've had. That isn't one of the JGCC cars, so that's good. Yeah, it drives like Skyline. It drives exactly like I remember Skylines driving. They're not particularly nice to drive. They're very scary. Sector 1 on that lap was bustling. But again, we had that sort of slide on the rear end, which threw it. If we didn't have that, maybe it could have gone quicker. I don't suspect it would have gone like a ridiculous amount quicker. Could it have beaten that 4-door? Perhaps. But I don't think it would have been like super quick or anything like that. Anyways, a 29.132 will place this into 50th. Goes in between the 4-door Skyline, like we mentioned, and the ST205 Celica. So the Celica gets binned off for this. One Gran Turismo Classic beats another, and to be fair, Celicas usually don't drive too well, so I'm not too surprised. You can see it's sort of around a gaggle of Skylines. You can see that R32 V-Spec that I mentioned that was quick. You can see the Zexel Skyline a little bit quicker than this, and the GTR V-Spec, the 99, quicker. So the V-Specs all go in order, so that's the best V-Spec until, you know, we get the 95 with the race mod around. Maybe that'll be quicker, I don't know, but interesting, certainly. Yeah, no, that's the Skyline to drive. That is, do you know, I haven't driven one of these for so long, and I don't miss them because they all drive like that. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.
My hopes and dreams are going. I'll only you back. Got up in a wall that you are not part of. Eyes on the slit of your father with love.